All right, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Ko Haloyim La Alachina wa Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Chahakudash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, great millstone, who do teach and rule well, tell us this 100% truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the house of David, the hopeful elect. You Akim out there pushing his word in truth and sincerity. To those you liken unto the speckled birds gathered to the four corners, speaking in different tongues, unto you we say Shalom. All right, there's going to be a quick update, if you will. All right, and really we could start with Rev 11. All right, because ultimately, with the events that are transpiring, all right, bear with me. Revelations 11 and 14, the second will is past, and behold, the third will cometh quickly. All right, so if you haven't been keeping up with the current events, all right, there's a lot going on in regards to Russia and Ukraine. All right, and basically, we're just going to touch a few, key points here. All right, through the spirit, and yeah, man, go from there, man, because ultimately this is setting the stage. All right, that's the point of all this. This is setting the stage. All right, even further, of course, than what we have seen with the rumors of wars over the past 10, 15, 20 years. This is really, setting the stage for that third wall. All right, because it's coming quickly, man. All right, and that's the point. All right, so first let's go into the article. All right, it's on the Epoch Times, but unfortunately, all right, there's a paywall, so you can't actually read it. So I was able to pull it up on an alternative. All right, so an exiled Chavez general and former director of the Bolivian National Intelligence Service, Manuel Figueroa, announced on January 17th at two Russian military facilities in Carabobo and Miranda, Venezuela. All right, and what did he announce? That Russian military bases exist in Venezuela, and he revealed their location. In a letter written a few days later, that Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said he cannot confirm or eliminate or deny the possibility of military buildup in Latin America. They're playing the same old game, Russia and the West. All right, and basically everything that's transpiring. All right, especially when you look at Venezuela, as they make mention, the Venezuelan Constitution basically states that it will not allow any foreign military in its any military base in its territory or in its so-called land. All right, so ultimately, you have to see here, all right, with the current events that have been taking place, all right, specifically with Russia and Ukraine, that the stage is really being set for that third world, man. All right. And as we see here, I'd like to just kick on some updates. All right, this happened on the 17th. All right, and basically over the past 24 hours, you've had Salakia. Over the past 24 hours, you've had further buildup or further escalation on that. All right, so today alone, Putin discussed a strategic partnership with Cuba in a phone call with President Diaz-Canel. All right, so that happened at roughly 10 a.m. All right. Then at 11:42 a.m., roughly a few hours later, Biden held a secure video call with European leaders on Ukraine, all right, per a White House statement. All right, and basically, you can, again, Google this yourself, U.S. to pull personnel from Ukraine. All right, you actually have an update on this. Let me see if I can grab the most recent one. Here we go. U.S. and U.K. withdraw families from Ukraine embassies, but EU to stay put. So it was the U.K., Slovakia, all right, not the EU, all right. But nonetheless, all right, if you have understanding, all right, NATO and EU, the beast, all right, all of that, you understand how this is all playing out regardless, all right, whether they pull those individuals out anyway. But U.S. and U.K. withdraw families from Ukraine embassies, but EU to stay put, all right. And then, again, this was a few days before this buildup. Now you have Biden, he spoke with those European leaders. All right. And again, look at the timeline here. All right. 10:24. But this was 4:47. So this was hours. All right. After. So like you're not before. All right. And then what we have is Pentagon puts forces on heightened alert for deployment, and that was just a few hours ago. All right, so ultimately, they're preparing, all right, to go ahead and do what they got to do, man. All right, and this again, this is really setting the stage for the third woe, because ultimately, Russia has already told, let me just get it, man. Let's just get it. Let's see here. It was a few days ago. Hold on. Here we go. This might be it. Yep. So it was December, which that's a month, like another few days ago. But you get the point. Putin warns Biden of complete rupture of U.S.-Russia relationships over Ukraine. All right. So he had been told them, listen, when it comes to Ukraine, stay out of it. All right. And, matter of fact, let me see if it'll pull up. Disclose. I covered it in a previous lesson. All right. Basically, Biden was over there copping pleas. All right. I think this is it. Yeah, here we go. Biden in his phone call with Putin said nuclear war can't be started. And again, this was in the same discussion. All right. Vladimir Putin of Russia spoke with President Biden for 50 minutes about the escalating crisis with Ukraine, but his intentions remained unclear. All right. So, the North country. All right. We can get that real quick. Jeremiah chapter 50. All right. Verse. Slovakia. All right, so you have Putin discussing agreements with Cuba. All right, you got Iran and China that have already been working, with Russia. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. Right, and that's exactly why you had, Biden basically, copping a plea, talking about we don't need, world war. He actually made some other statements basically saying that a world war, a nuclear war can't be won, which is a lie, man. And I covered that in a previous lesson on my main page. But nonetheless, now we have the activation of 8,500 troops. All right. Basically ready for a response. And you actually have the Ukrainians that have further sent more troops to the border. All right. And let me see if Lord's will, I can show y'all this video. All right, bear with me here so I can airdrop it to the computer here. Salakia, give me 1 second. Let's see, it should be this one. Accept, open. Okay, I think it. Let's see here. Bear with me, Salakia. Okay, here it is. All right. Salakia, I typically only share the window. So I gotta share the whole screen. Bear with me here. Entire screen. Okay, there we go. Salakia. All right, let's move that. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm not gonna play the sound because it's gonna be very loud. All right. Matter of fact, I could just turn it down. Let's see. You see that, man? They getting them, troops to the border, man. All right. So not only, of course, do you have, the Department of Defense, basically the Pentagon, all right, that have, put these troops on heightened alert for possible rapid deployment to Europe as part of a potential NATO response, right? As part of what? The beast response, man. NATO and the EU, okay? And if you understand anything about NATO and the EU, all right, and you also understand Babylon's veto power when it comes to decisions that are made, it'll be clear for you to understand, all right, how Babylon all right, is how America is Babylon, all right. And they go on to say, no decision has been made on whether the troops will be deployed, and said none will be sent directly to Ukraine. Well, first off, you're not going to put a heightened alert on troops, especially when there's movement, especially when there's discussion of other calls being made with European leaders. All right, especially when you got Russia reaching out further to Cuba. All right, and then also within the past few weeks, you got the Venezuelan government basically saying, "Hey, we have multiple military bases down here in Venezuela." So this is not a small thing, man. It's not a small thing whatsoever, man. So yeah, that's it. That's the point. And just to kind of add, with everything going on, all right, the update, financially, the Dow and the Nasdaq was down, while all this noise has been going on with the, with the system, all right. And then just to kind of add to it, Biden heard calling a reporter a stupid son of a bee after question about inflation. And I want to grab this because it's so important. Not only does he prove ultimately that inflation is real, all right, but listen to what this devil says. The reporter, do you think inflation is a political liability in the midterms? Biden says it's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bee. So why would you say it's a great asset? You're in financial destruction right now. You're on a financial downhill slope. And then you got Russia over here, has been warning you, putting the pressure on you. All right, you're over here copping pleas. And that's how man, this Edomite is not in his right state of mind. All right. This dude is a you could just tell, man, because first off, no so-called president in their right mind would be on record saying, and this, as you can see, it's live. They wouldn't be saying things of this nature, live. But ultimately, I just wanted to add, of that update, man. Now they're activating troops. Now we're really getting into, the season of the fruition of this war, man. Poking the bear, man. All right, and Russia is no longer in the spirit of, how do they say, a political solution, a verbal solution. Russia is no longer into that, man. Russia's tired of giving words, to Babylon. And again, that's why it says, assembly of great nations from the North Country, right? Because it's going to be led by Russia, man. And that's what we're seeing. All right. Russia has been leading this thing, man. Like I just showed you the previous few, photos, Russia has been getting calls. Russia has, military bases getting established in South America, which is beautiful, man. All right. So, I'm gonna end it off there. I think this wasn't, like a super long or, deep lesson. All right. The point has been made, man. Ultimately, there should be some further updates here. All right, because hey, through the spirit, man, this is the year Yahweh Bashem Yahushua turning up, man. So we could see a military draft going to place. All right, we could see so many things, man. All right, there's still quite a handful of events that must take place. Of course, we're at the point where there are two main prophecies, if you will, that we're anticipating. All right, the Charagma, the third woe. All right, salvation, of course, but there are events that take place in between those events as well, man. And this is part of it. This is part of them preparing for a possible response. And man, we all know, man, Babylon ain't messing with them Russians, man. They not going to do nothing, man. But Lord's will, you was edified, man. And this guy is totally oblivious. He's over here talking about some goddamn midterms and everything else, man. That's how this place is through, man. It's chaos going on. There's war sirens being sent in Ukraine. There's all. Hey, you got. Matter of fact, let me see if I can just pull it up real quick. Shalakia, bear with me. I actually let me see here. Just bear with me real quick. I was on on Twitter. All right, because I use the Twitter platform to follow. All right, certain. Let's see here. Man integrated. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Man underscore integrated. Here we go. Let me see if it'll pop up. Lord's will. All right. Just to give you an idea. All right. This was 10 hours ago. Let me see if I can find it. Bear with me real quick. Bear with me. Hey, look, hey, and that's spiritual. No one is coming to save us from this immediate crisis. Who was the Jack Ryan or John Clark that will save us? Nobody, man. Nobody's saving Babylon, man. Here it is. All right. China heavily escalating its gray zone incursions into Taiwanese airspace in recent days with multiple major U.S. Navy elements in the region. Turkey is rationing power. They've been out. Turkey has been out. Turkey, 3 days. Turkey without for 3 days. Let me see if it pops up. I can't remember what it was. Turkey's power. Yep, there it is. Turkey's without power for 3 days. Plans power cuts to industrial facilities after Iran cuts restrictions on electricity supply industry to halt for 3 days. All right. You got the UAE, United Arab Emirates, being attacked with missiles. And really, like somebody said in the comments, bear with me here. The United Arab Emirates, they're really, they're going with those other Ishmaelites. They're fighting back and forth. All right. For some reason, it's not coming, but it's all right. The point is made. And then you got Russia and Ukraine about to go off. We are living in a Tom Clancy novel. We're not living in a Tom Clancy novel, man. We're living in a very spiritual and prophetic timeline. All right. And matter of fact, Salakia, let me go back because there was a few other things on his page. Bear with me here. I want to get the actual posting. All right. No, that wasn't it. Salakia, that's the same one. No, that's not it. And just to add further inflation, man, China controls roughly 37% of the world's soybean reserves. And not only that, over half of the world's grain, pushing up global prices. Let's see here. There was one other point. Salaki, I can't find it. Maybe it was a bit further, oh, here we go. Current positioning of Russian armies on the Ukrainian border. You see that? Hey, and this is Ukraine. All right. And remember the strait that right around this area is it's called something strait. Russia to close off Ukraine strait. Parts of Black Sea. Yeah. So this was the Kerch Strait. There it is. Russia closes Kerch. And this was months ago, man. Kerch Strait. They've been ready, man. April 15, 2021, Russia decided to close the area of Kerch Strait to warships and other state vessels until October. All right. So they cut off that complete area around Ukraine, man, as these things have been escalated. So how much more through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai are they going to continue to escalate? All right, you see it, man. Look at that. And then you got Ukraine soldiers going. You got NATO discussing a possible reaction. All right, so hey, man, it's beautiful. Let me just pull this up. I'm not sure if there's any further information. All right, because they cover a lot of different, so-called geopolitical numbers. All right, countries that can hit any place on Earth with a missile. You see that? Hey, and Russia's got the biggest so-called nuclear arsenal. You see? Look how dinky America is, man. All right. And that also shows, if I could just add, I'm going to cut this off here. I made the point. But, if I could add, it also shows you, the witchcraft of Esau, because if you look at the continent of Africa, all right, research has been done that the whole United States and other 5 or 6 different continents could literally fit in Africa, man. So this little piece of garbage, man, is done for, man. It's done for. So yeah, man. It's a Lord's will, man. Within the next few days and few weeks, man, we'll see this escalate further. And really get into that vibration of that. We're already in the vibration of the third woe. It's clear here, man, especially when you got Edomites losing their mind of all the things that are going on. All right. China, Turkey, Russia, everything's about to go down, man. So, hey, Lord's will use edify in closing. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory into Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Recha HaKodash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, great millstone, who do teach and rule well, tell us the 100% truth. Peace, love, and salutations unto the house of David, the hopeful elect. You Akim out there pushing his word in truth and sincerity. To those you liken unto the speckled birds scattered to the four corners, speaking in different tongues. Unto you and until next time we say Shalom.